Hi, my audience. I got a new TEDx speaker and an engineer who motivating in a different way. And then she is going around different paths to help people sharing her story. I welcome Brenda to our series of Mothers in Maine. Welcome, Brenda.
Hello, Bizzy. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Brenda, I would really love you to share who you are and what you're doing.
Yes, so I wear many hats, as all mothers do. But I suppose at heart, I'm an engineer, speaker, and coach. I help women in male-dominated industries to feel seen, to feel heard, and to lead with confidence because I'm a very passionate advocate for the engineering industry because I believe that's where our solutions come from. That's where we create a better future, and it's important for us to have representation not just from women, but from all intersectionalities um, and people with different backgrounds and different experiences. So I bring the joy of that and helping people to embrace who they are and bring that fully to their workplace, bring it fully to their business, to their careers, so that they
Mm.
can live a fulfilling life because we only have one after all. So let's make it the best one that we've got.
That's an interesting one. Engineering, it's again, it's a bit of more into the core actions, looking towards that thing rather than looking to the other people. But from that industry, you are looking other people and you helping other people. So how was that transformation story happened in your life?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Engineers are typically introverts and they're typically looking to be very data focused. And I'm probably about 7 or 8 years into my career, I realized that I didn't want to be going too technically deep into the engineering field. I
Mm.
enjoyed the people side much more. I enjoyed interacting. I enjoyed listening to people's stories. I enjoyed understanding what were their struggles. In operational management roles or people management roles, you really want to understand how your people are feeling, what is stopping them from doing their work effectively and safely, right? So I found this diversion, I suppose, more to the people side of things. But then when I also navigated my career, I realized that there weren't enough women who looked like me in
Mm.
senior roles who were in positions that I wanted to, sort of strive for, to climb the ladder towards. And so that made me start my own journey for finding networks, finding different mentors and coaches who could show me their secrets because things are very different from a university and school to when you're in the
Yes.
workplace. So I found that journey myself and I realized, wow, this is things I'm learning aren't very obvious to us as women. And we need more women in leadership. It's become more of a, even a government agenda. It's not just my own little dream now. It's actually a bigger priority for us to have more women in leadership. So that was a natural transition, I suppose, to me now
Yeah,
working.
you're doing if you have done this from your own core passion, that means you had to work hard to find out your coaches, your niche and your area, and then your real, your story. And I know that it's just not like a 9 to 5 job. It's not just with that on passion. You are a wonderful mother. So I want you to share with us, how do you describe your motherhood?
Oh my gosh. Probably my motherhood is a lot of juggling balls. So I'm what I'd call a solo parent. So I've got a husband, but he works in the fly in, fly out industry. So he's actually
Mm.
gone for like a week in another state working, and I'm left at home parenting and having to play that mother role. All whilst being in a 9 to 5 role. So I finished the corporate world now, but before last year I was working in a 9 to 5 corporate role, 5 days a week, managing two factories in two different states. So it's very
Mm.
hectic. And then obviously managing my coaching business as well on the side. So I would call it a big juggle. I'd call it a management of energy. So really prioritizing which tasks are critical to happen in the day, being very flexible, being very adaptable, and being present, for the kids when I've got them and when I'm with them so that at least that time, even though it might seem small or short, is valuable, value adding for them. So,
You actually, answered different question. My next question already there by saying that being present and then, being coached for that. So, but again, I loved the word that you mentioned, that the energy between your factories and becoming, there for them. That's where you were struggling because you have, motherhood, there's like a solo person to look after the family, and then the solo person for your company. So you were connecting those two into one. So I would love to check what will be your 3 rules to keep the peace inside you, because you are, giving many different energies to different people in different audience setting. So you need to find out your peace. What's your top 3 rule?
Yeah, so my top 3 rules for having peace and keeping the peace. So the first one is self-care. So it's being
Mm,
really cognizant, I think, and I mentioned a little bit before about my energy levels. So really
mm,
making sure I've filled my own cup so that I'm not having to try and run a car on empty. And I think a lot of us, especially as women, we are born as nurturers. We love to help, we love to support, we love to be there to assist, but we often put ourselves at the bottom of the list. So for myself, I try take small moments for myself, whether it's a nice coffee. I'm very present when I'm drinking the
mm.
mocha. I love having a little bath,
I
maybe
love
it's
coffee.
I know, right? I love a quiet moment. I mean, I don't know, I've got young kids, they're 6 and 2, and so they're always wanting to be by your side. So even if I can steal 5 minutes for a hot shower in peace and in quiet, and I can just visualize and dream and think about where I'm going, what I'm creating. The
Mm,
second one is around yeah, so prioritization, so really understanding how I can, what really needs to happen today, what can I delegate? I've got a virtual assistant in the Philippines who helps me to manage some of the administrative tasks of the business.
mm,
So seeing where I can actually leverage support, right? So, and a lot of people, as moms, sometimes we don't want to ask for help, but that's one of my key secrets is to
mm,
leverage support from whether it's the in-laws, whether it's my daycare, whether it's the out of school hours care at the schools, so that I'm not feeling like I'm having to be in all the places at all the times. And then
mm,
the last one is around boundaries, right? And I
mm,
think boundaries, again, it's just another way of protecting your energy. So being able to say no to things that are not aligned to the season that I'm in, right? So being able to to determine what's in, what's out. Do I prioritize this catch up, or is it not really something that I really want to pursue at this time? Because there's going to be lots of things that come into our awareness, come into our field,
mm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
we just have
I,
to
I
have a way to.
I love that, you're picking life as season, Brenda, because if I think the life is the only one with the no seasons, it's hard to pick up the challenges, right? So I love that way that you're picking up the self-care and then that, priority and the boundaries. So 3 top rules that you are keeping your life, flying from one place to other and then showing that energy to other people. And I would say that, when the women especially see the energy, they feel that call, yes, I can do it. If Brenda can do it, I can do it. So but I love that way of, like, filling your cup and then prioritizing and then putting that boundaries in. And as many people, including me, is struggling with that boundaries. Like, we do
Mm.
not know where should I put that line in the sand. It's bit hard, isn't it?
Yes,
Anyway,
communication is a key. Sorry, Bismi. You made
Mhm,
me think about communication because I think as women, and I've had these frustrations, early on when I became a mum, and
mhm,
my husband wanted to help and be a partner, and but he was doing the what I'd call the wrong things. Like he was doing the, maybe the dishes or something, but I would want him to help do the laundry or to help
mm,
to just look after the kids while they're asleep so I could go for a walk, right? So I find communication is one of the key things us as mothers, if we can
mm,
improve our communication and talking about how else that can make a
mm.
big difference um, in our motherhood journey because people know what's like for us in various seasons. And they can help us, can you bring a lasagna meal, right? People are very attentive soon after you have a baby, but
Yeah.
sometimes that can be the way to support. Please just
Mm,
bring a meal over this week, or the way you can
yeah.
really help me this week is to come over and we can go for a walk. I'm wanting to improve my health, and can you
Mm.
hold me accountable? Let's go for a walk on, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's absolutely right, because being accountable to a parent is a great way to, connect and then get that journey going.
yes, 100%.
Yeah. Brenda, I would really love to check with you. The month of May, we are all doing whatever we can in our life to give the awareness of family violence. And it's not like having a life with an unhealthy partner. It is more of like, all different belief inside you. Sometimes the violence is inside you because, you have all this belief that you can't really change, you can't really be your hero, all different mindset is a big yeah, issue. And sometimes I would say more than 50%, it's more of like victimizing ourselves in that journey rather than overpowering. So being a motivational speaker and then going through all different people in these scenarios, how do you feel about empowering or educating people about family violence? What's your thoughts on it?
Mm, yeah, so look, I'm as much as everyone, I mean, in Australia right now, there's quite a lot of focus
Mm,
on domestic and family violence, and I guess it's because there's some critical, I suppose, high-profile people who perhaps have been unfortunately lost their lives at the hands of
mm,
family violence, and it's not okay. I'm glad to see that the government is starting to put some priority and financially in
mm,
terms of providing support systems. And when I look at from a representation perspective, like a lot of migrant women have had issues historically as well with family violence, and
mm,
it's important that they continue to um, improve support services, listen
mm,
to people, because at the end of the day, I think it also boils down to financial freedom. Women are scared to leave the house; they're scared to leave their partners who are maybe in a violent situation because
yeah.
they're concerned about how the kid's going to be fed, how the kid's going to be housed. Like, what am I going to do? I haven't been the breadwinner since I've had the babies and the kids and stuff. So it's a real concern, and we need to be providing places of support where they can have long-term support, get their feet on the ground,
Mm,
uh, get financial freedom, and or be equipped to manage that. So I feel a lot of empathy for those who are involved in this, and I think certainly from an empowering perspective, I love for women to seek out that help, to seek out that assistance as much as possible, to find networks where they can talk about things, because oftentimes talking about it just seems taboo in itself, right? So
mm,
finding a space to talk about it, finding a space to say, what are my options? What else can I do? How can you help me? Because it's scary. It's a very
mm.
safety is one of the key human needs, right? And when you feel unsafe, you feel like a lot of things in your life are not on a steady foundation. So really, it's again mindset, helping people to start to think
Yeah.
about what can they be grateful for, what do they already have, what can they focus on, how can they use the resources they have available to start to
Mm.
transition these.
Yeah. That's the way, because we always try to help people to love their life, because once you start loving and then understanding that I have a right to live peacefully, then they will become their own advocate. Because
Mm,
sometimes even though I need to go out, I don't feel like, can I ask? Because that advocacy of your own voice is so hard without educating them. So I'm so glad you're on the same path and helping people and changing the mindset. So I would love to, hear from you about your TEDx journey, because, it's a dream for many people. And then you conquered that great, milestone. So can you share how did you start and what was your feel when you were sharing, your story with that great color combination? I love the way that you were presenting there, and then, telling us which one need to choose and then what will connect with my story. And then the whole way that you were entering that speech was amazing. So I would really love to hear what was, from the starting point, and how did you deliver that?
Thank you so much, Busy. That's really amazing feedback. For those in the audience who haven't seen my talk, it's called How to Find the Gold Within. And it's really a culmination of my life experiences. And I didn't know that when I started my journey to get onto the TEDx stage. It's probably been about 4 years, I believe. 2020. I've always looked at people who've done TEDx talks and thought, wow, that's
Mm,
amazing. And in 2020, I thought, oh, I'd love to do a TED talk. I started becoming more professional in my speaking and getting mentors and understanding what it takes. And I'd
mm,
applied about 4 or 5 other TEDx events unsuccessfully before the one. And I don't think I didn't really want to apply for the event, but then I saw something came up and said, the application process has been extended. I was like, okay, this is a sign. And the theme was made in the kaleidoscope. And I've always wanted to talk about embracing your differences as your strength and the importance of your intersectionality and the way we bring different elements to the table to create a future. And so this was really very much aligned with the theme. And when we look at motherhood, on the audition day, I actually took, like I had my 2 kids. I was solo parenting on audition day, and my husband wasn't available. The in-laws weren't in town. So I had to leave my 6-year-old with some cousins, and I took my 2-year-old with me. And I think at the time it was maybe 18 months. I put him in a pram and I took him to the audition. And I actually asked some strangers, I was like, please, can you look after him? There was a lady who was in one of the groups with Kaylee, who's my speaker coach, who was also auditioning on that day. And I was like, just look after him. And she never met my son or anything, but I gave him a little bracelet and he kept playing with it, and he didn't, interfere or say "mommy" when I was on stage. So that was my key fear. But yeah, I did the audition and then I was in the final 15. So it's a very big high. It's like a roller coaster. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm finalist for TEDx. And then it's like, oh no, what am I gonna talk about? How am I gonna put a story together? 10 minutes or 12 minutes, and it's like, oh, what's my idea really? And so now the journey becomes so real. It's like, and so I just started putting pen to paper. I started preparing some notes, thinking about my stories, what would be worth sharing. And I had a story in there that was quite generic and quite basic. And I was like, oh, anyone could tell the story. Let me get deeper, So I was like, oh, this is going to take some vulnerability, but it's going to maybe have much more impact. And that's one of the messages I share in my story, is that sometimes we've got experiences that are very challenging that we go through. It may be domestic violence, like we're talking about, or it may be loss, it may be grief, loss of a loved one, financial disruption. But these things, when we go through them, they're really there to teach us lessons and to really bolster us and set us up for what our future is going to be about, or who we're going to help in future, or how we're shaped, right? And so I shared a much more vulnerable story about being in a prison. So I won't talk and spoil the alert. Too much of a spoiler alert, but yeah, people can go and listen to the story. But yes, I shared that, and I really shared about how life is about the experiences and the differences we bring, and how that's where we can really find the gold within. So
that's
that was
great.
the journey.
It was an amazing journey for me to follow you, and then see the power in you, because can clearly see that story got the message, but the way that you delivered was an awesome way that was going into the heart. So well done, Brenda. Well done. So, and that's one of the reason I wanted you to come with this series, because people will be thinking my story is not worth enough to share, but it is. Everyone's story is unique, and everyone has the power to spread the story. But you need to, as you mentioned, you need to have that mentor and that timing and then dedication and commitment. I really highly recommend that you worked with Kaylee, so do I, and then helping me to go into that clarity of what is the purpose, or how do I deliver those things. So well done again.
Thank you so much.
Coming back to my show, because that's my journey. So my show is mainly showcasing the people who are spreading love, joy, and peace in our community. And then you, of course, one of our honorable guest. I would love to check with you. What are the things, or what's the message that you can share to my audience to spread this love, joy, and peace?
Yes. I suppose I'd love to share the message that life is a roller coaster. There will be ups and downs, but us as mothers, we are incredible. Like, think of the journey we've taken to bring new life into the world, right? It's an immense feat, right? To actually think it's the ultimate miracle for our bodies to automatically press play, work its magic for 9 months without us really doing too much and creating another human. So I just want to say to our mothers out there that you are doing an amazing job. Keep going, keep trusting yourself. The way I love to spread love and peace and joy, I guess, is to just remind women that they are amazing, they're one of a kind. There's no one else like you who
Mm.
has done the things that you're doing, who has been through what you've been through, who's navigated that. So look at your life as a gift and think about how you can share your love and your passions with the world to make it a better place.
Mm, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. So I wish a very great, a special Mother's Day this year with your loved ones, especially your kids, and hope to get a pampering day, like, from them.
I
And
hope
then,
so.
yeah, and then and enjoy that motherhood and celebrate your win that you have done in this wonderful year. So wish you all the very best, Brenda. I invite everyone to come and check on Brenda's website. Can you share with us how can I reach out to you, Brenda?
Yes, definitely. So I am very active on LinkedIn and Facebook, just Brenda Denbesten, my first name and last name. You'll find me there. And my website is www.brendadenbesten.com. So if you want to book some services, I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, so Brenda is highly active. I would say that, my social media will not stop without seeing you at least twice. So, and then it's a great messaging. Just seeing her, maybe that seconds will change your mindset and then what you're doing that time. So I highly recommend connect with Brenda just to have a free talk. I would, comment that as a starting point, and then you will see how that is growing into a better version, and your mindset will be like, changed. And then, as Brenda mentioned, she became a motivational speaker from engineer. You will be like, changing your life into your passion, and then only because everyone got a unique passion. So I invite everyone again to connect with Brenda, and I will be putting the website under this video's description. So again, thank you, Brenda, for this, opportunity for me to connect and then grab your energy to my audience. And I know that you're busy, and then you are, giving that small short from Sydney today, having all different things happening. So I again my grateful heart coming to you with my love, and spreading that love, joy, and peace to you and your people that you're helping. And that's what the story for today, the inspiring motherhood, from Brenda for my audience through Dominus Nissi. And this is with me. We are connecting and partnering with all different wonderful mothers, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers. That's how we helping you as a listener to grow in your life. This is with me. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.